Welcome to the AfriMind podcast, your podcast for courage and inspiration from Africa. My name is Leone, and my vision is to tell stories that have the power to change your life. Howdy, buddy. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Fine. How are you, Seth?
Thank you. I'm very fine. Thank you so much for taking your time to spend the morning with me.
It's a pleasure. With pleasure to do that.
You have this big dream of traveling with a bicycle all along West Africa to the north. So could you tell me, before we start with that, a little bit about yourself? What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from?
Well, thank you for having me this morning. It's really a pleasure, and welcome in advance again to Australia. Well, my name is Cheno Amadou Jallo. I'm 28 years old youth. Just recently graduated with a bachelor degree in sociology. So I'm some kind of addicted traveler. So I'm always on the road. Even if my foot is not on the road, my mind is always on the road. So I'm so curious to go on the road.
How come? What are you looking forward to when your mind is traveling? What are you looking forward to? Why do you want to travel?
My mind is looking forward to so many things. The interesting thing that my mind is always looking for is always meeting beautiful people, beautiful culture, and exploring Africa beyond my imaginations. And sometimes when we travel, it's not about the places that we have been that makes the travel more worthwhile. It's about the people we meet along the way that make travel so nice and interesting.
And it opens your horizon, right?
It's open your horizon, it's broaden your mind. By the time you finish traveling, no matter how short the travel is, you will be rich with experience. You will not be having money, but with experience, I think you are rich.
And the same, I want to come back to exactly that point, because, you know, for a lot of people that I know, including me, when we heard about Sierra Leone, we heard about the war, we heard about people without arms and legs and like horrible stories. But in my mind, in my imagination, I always imagined Sierra Leone as a really country full of humanity, of kindness and of big hearts, because I think when people suffer so much, right, it really connects them deep with something, like, you know, with a belief or with something. And in the end, you can only build the country up by helping each other, right? And while by forgetting and forgiving.
For sure.
So I always wanted to come to Sierra Leone, and what I see here is such it's one of the most amazing nature-wise countries in West Africa.
Good.
So thank you for making me grow, because I travel here, I meet you guys, and I want to talk to you, especially because for me you're a really interesting person, because you are interested yourself in so many different things. Exactly. And you are a doer, right?
Exactly.
Like, you are doing things. Exactly. You're not just talking.
Exactly. So, well, it's really cool. I would say it's really no regrets for you coming back to see for yourself, which quite a lot of people don't do. Quite a lot of people believe just reading on the media, reading books, getting stories from people who have been here during those times, and they still hold on to those held belief, which for me is not fair enough. We have been through a lot. We are resilient people, for sure. Things are happening, but I can assure you that life in itself or society is not static. There is bound to be changes, no matter how long it takes. No matter the time, within time and space, things can happen. It can be good, it can be bad, but that doesn't define the future. So it's better for people who still have all those held belief, not just believe on what they see in the media. Because for me, the media is just doing stories that captures more audience and people mind. For them, is to get their stories go on a wider audience. That's the goal. And for most people, including me sometimes, I can assure you the good news, not everyone accepts it, but the bad news, it can go far and wide. And these things are happening, but that doesn't mean Sierra Leone is not growing. Like we have, like, if I can say 8 million population, though we have so many challenges, but we have people who are happy regardless of it. And sometimes the poor are happy even more than the wealthiest people on earth, I can assure you. So it's good for those people to meet fellow travelers like you, follow you, who are there, being part of the experience, like you have a first-hand experience. I think people like you are a game changer to all these kind of stories, because you see for yourself, and what you see for yourself is totally different from what you read in a book, from what you see on the news. Before now, if someone want to come, I've met a lot of people who will tell you, when I was coming, my mom just checked, and these are old people. They said, don't go there, it's full of Ebola, malaria, war, and all this. And this doesn't define me. So that's why I want to leave out of my comfort zone, which is not easy most of the time, so that I can go out and brand Sierra Leone and market Sierra Leone in a very special and unique way. Because sometimes when you meet people who are part of these things, that they have all these prejudice and stereotype about certain things, when you meet them you feel at ease. I can tell you, you can, from experience, from what you have shared along your trip, you have changed a lot of mind. A lot of people who have believed in these things before that is happening, when you come to you show them picture, they will think like it's somewhere around the world. Surprisingly, you told them I'm in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Oh, they will be like, oh no, it's unbelievable.
And I
When
must
you're there.
say, look, every African country is completely different. First of all, Africa is a continent, right?
Yeah.
It's a massive continent,
People
full of
and
different cultures,
cultures,
people. Every
diverse.
time you cross a border, you are in a completely different world.
Yes.
You have also French colonization, you
Sure.
have English colonization, so it's
Portuguese.
the English, it's the Portuguese,
Yeah.
but also people are completely different. Like just crossing from Guinea-Conakry into Sierra Leone, like I met, this is what I love also, I met a police officer woman. You know, it's a woman. There's women here who raise, who have power, and she really welcomed us, and everyone welcomed us, and it really feels like they want you here, and
Yeah.
they spread the happiness, and they
Sure.
make things easy for you so that you
Yes.
can feel comfortable.
I
So
have
to me,
no
this
doubt.
is Sierra Leone. Like, it's a very hospitable country with really, really friendly, open-minded people that like to joke around and love, right?
Exactly. Yes. This is how we have been. It's really part of our culture, that we have this culture of embracing each other, regardless of the place where you find yourself. Even in a remote location that you feel life doesn't exist sometimes, when you be there, your mind will all change, because the kind of hospitality you get is totally different. It's only a traveler experience these things. People who just sit on their comfort zone reading book, magazine, or watching the news can never experience those beautiful moments that you've experienced. We are open-minded people. We are resilient people. We always love seeing people around we. And this is interesting. The human relationship you build with people is more important. I can tell people, if you travel to Sierra Leone sometimes, travel entails money, which is true. But sometimes for me, I don't believe that 100%. I believe having the right behavior, right attitude is rich more than the wealth that you think for traveling. So this is a case in Sierra Leone. It's applicable here. I've been to different places where people think, even me as a Sierra Leonean, I'm a stranger. I have to pull a lot of some document to show proof, even though I speak very good Creole, like the ones in Freetown, but people never believe because of the situation. They think when it's coming close to election, a lot of people go different things to do some kind of different kind of things that they don't trust. But I have to do all that beyond reasonable that to prove them. But for some of you people, when you comes, you experience it on a different level as well. The way the people treat you. A friend of mine shared the same thing with me. Said the people are welcoming. People want to see people coming. They are happy to see us. What a beautiful moment.
And I mean, just to come back to yourself, right? I guess growing up in Sierra Leone isn't always easy.
For
And
sure.
another reality here is, I think most people have nothing.
Exactly.
And it's really hard to survive, or you've lost a parent or both parents, and you have to defend yourself. You have siblings. You're not just taking care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
When you talk about future, you talk about also family's
Family,
future,
yeah, sure.
right? And but when you come from all this, like when you start living with like when life is so hard, how can you dream so big?
Well, I can say for me, when life is so hard or is difficult, I always believe in one thing. Since I'm a resilient person, I always believe that no matter how difficult is it, no matter how hard is it, giving up should not be an option. I should not be limited by those difficulties and challenges. Things in our life can always be difficult and very hard to do, or very hard, I can say, but it depends on how we respond to these challenges positively. That makes things work for us. It's really hard, but make sure you have the right attitude. Network with people who can add values to your life. Choose the people who should be your model. Choose your goal. Have passion no matter how long it takes. Just believe that as long as it is hard or difficult, think about the side as long as these things is doable. It's something that can work. Even though if you fail, failure give you unique opportunities that you can learn from those failures.
Can you give me some example? I don't know, you have to choose what you want to share, but can you give me some examples of things that have been really difficult in your life and how you turned it to change it in your mind to something positive, or grow from it or learn from it, and how would you move on? Like,
Well, I can say there are many challenges, but for this reason will just be like few. But some will be when I was a child refugee in Guinea. I was small, though I was like taking care of parents, but it was really hard.
oh, you were a refugee.
I was a child refugee because we migrated to Guinea during the civil war with my parents, and adjusting to a new environment was really so hard. And the life of your fellow Sierra Leonean who was in the camp, that you can saw every time on the news, that lost their life, not only just because of the war that they migrated to, they leave their home and go somewhere else, but because of some kind of disease outbreak that can kill them after you have survived all the horrible, all the terrors, all the difficult moment. Then for you to go somewhere and you think you are safe, then you are hit and struck by cholera, and the next day you are gone. It's so hard. Then also on the second moment of one of these challenges I experienced as a youth, it's really so hard. It's really hard to do with academics. It was really so hard with academics that things difficult for my family that we can afford to pay my tuition at some point because our business was hit by the Ebola. And since then things becomes so hard for our family because I have other siblings, then we have other responsibility. So the task is, how am I going to be involved in helping this? As a student, I don't have somewhere I can do a part-time job to raise more money even for my lunch. It was as a result of my attitude with good friends that I met along, who knows my dream, who knows my passion, who want to see those dreams become reality. That was helping. They are not people, they are not black people. They are people from a different culture, different environment, but they embraced me with the humanity, the love that keeps everyone going. And I was truly lucky and blessed to have these people, and I am very happy that I proved them right, that I'm taking some step, little by little, no matter how long it is. I believe some of these dreams will be achievable. But I am so happy I have the unique ability to cope with stress, because all of these challenges, I can tell you, they comes out with a lot of stress, but I was having a very good mechanism to defend all those stress positively. One will be traveling. I become a travel addict as a result, because traveling, meeting new people every time you go different places, your whole mindset change. You have to readjust to fit in their shoe, to be on the lay side of them, so that each one can understand, so that there will be no difference. And readjusting to this time and adapting takes time. Change doesn't happen just erratically, it happens gradually. Once you are adapting to just change, you are more relaxed, you are more free. You forget about all those past and think about what is present. This is one of the unique things that travel do. And it's also opened my horizon, and I will always learn different things. What I learned from traveling is so unique because it's not something that is premeditated, written on a script or directed. This can be just something random, is already in place. No one knows the cast, no one knows the actor, no one knows the toughest.
I can imagine you as an amazing traveler, because I mean, a lot of us, I can just speak for myself, we come out of a comfort zone, right? And when you travel, you really find yourself in situations that are challenging. But you have had so many challenges in life. You already know how to trust, right? How to stay quiet, how to breathe, how to look for the solution.
Exactly.
And we are still in this panic mode, panic and freeze or run, right? So that's what most of us first learn in traveling before we can like look at the other things. But what I imagine is when you just tell me you come from such a hard time, your family didn't have money after the Ebola. I mean, we must say you did not just hit Corona, you just had Ebola before, right?
Yes.
Country then came back a little bit to life, and then comes Corona. So if someone has so little means, because in Germany we always think money, we always think you need money to go far, but you proved the different, right? You proved the opposite. You had hardly money to finish your studies, but you managed, and then you even managed to somehow buy a bicycle.
Exactly.
And then travel through Liberia. How did you do that?
Well, I can say it's something that I've planned like 3 years ago, to have these dreams, like being on a bicycle. I choose this because we should always be an ambassador. I think if I don't have money to give to the future generation or to people presently, I think one unique way that I can help, even if with not money, but the little things count. Everyone is talking about climate change in the whole world, exactly. And air pollution by cars and different kind of industry is causing a big threat to our environment. So I say, okay, if I can go to Liberia, I don't have money, but I want to give this Liberian and some Sierra Leonean that I will pass through unique gifts. And which one of these gifts will be so worthwhile that everyone along the way can have a benefit of this share. So I think, okay, going with a bicycle will be something super cool. So if I travel all the way by bicycle, carbon free means a lot to the environment. So I massively reduce my carbon footprint. So this is a really special gift that I did. It's not only this gift, but it keeps me more fit. I can tell you, since after the trip, Liberia have exposed a lot to malaria, but not yet attacked by any malaria sign.
Wow.
Which is super so cool.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I know I don't have money, but that doesn't limit me. The money should not be a challenge. If I don't have money, it should be an alternative. Then I say, okay, I can get a bicycle. The money I can pay for a vehicle to go to Monrovia, then I can use that money for food and some other thing I would like. And I would love to share with people whatever I have, as long as it is possible. I love sharing because for me, I believe sharing is caring and caring is sharing.
And when we speak about a bicycle, you know, when Germans speak about, okay, I'm going on a bicycle tour, they find themselves a super cool mountain bike or something proper. You just go to the second-hand market and find a well enough bicycle,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
that you can afford. And when you find equipment, like, how old is your tent? Is it still rainproof or?
No, my tent is not rainproof, unfortunately, but it was able to go because by then it was not raining. So my tent have been used for like 16 years. I've been using my tent for 6 years since I got it as a gift from a boss, Then my former boss have been using the tent for 10 years, doing a lot of camping in different places. But for me, that should not limit me. I should not think about the environment as a limitation factors. These are blessings. When it rains, it's blessing. You can imagine some other places around Sudan, Somalia, that have been challenged with droughts. They want this rain, but no way it's possible. So I should not think that the rain should limit me. So I don't have really proper equipment to go. I don't have the real pannier, so I just think about, I have a backpack, let me just find a rope, I can just tie it. Whatever, the goal is to make sure I go along with my things and make sure it's more comfortable, or if it is not comfortable, I have something that I can move along. So sometimes it doesn't have to have everything 100%. Just think smartly out of the box, how you can create things to work for you, because you can do it. And these are one of the unique blessings you have as a traveler. You always know how to manage, whether it comes in terms of budget, logistics, how to relate with people. These are also skills, even if you don't have them. But whilst you're traveling, you will be developing them gradually. So that's it.
I think your first big trip was Liberia after you just finished your studies, huh?
Yeah.
And you told me the story yesterday. Finishing your studies was not easy at all,
Yes,
because you couldn't pay your tuition, like you said. and then you even tried to go to the exams, they didn't let you go in.
Yes.
Like others also, that they couldn't pay the fees, they didn't
Yeah.
let them go in. There was a big riot.
Yes.
You went to, you were put into prison.
I was detained for 2 days.
Everything still had to somehow get out, then come back, pay money, find
Yes.
money. Like you finished the exam and then you went traveling. So I can imagine this going on the road, like hitting the road with a bicycle is kind of like liberating also your spirit, right? It's like going somewhere, open your horizon, forget about what just happened, learning, growing. So how did you feel while you put your foot first time on that bicycle to step into the road? Like how did that feel?
Well, first in the morning when I wake up, I just feel like I'm doing something so special and so great. And I believe it's achievable and it's something I can do. Though many people never believe I can do it. A lot of people think it's quite impossible. I said, oh no. I was really inspired by a grandparent that I met here in Brunei like 1 month ago that traveled all the way with a bicycle, a grandparent from Belgium, all the way here, and they are going all the way to South Africa.
Wow, on a bicycle.
I say, wow, if these 2 people can do it. Grandparents, they leave home whilst their daughter was pregnant. They couldn't be there when their grandchild arrived, and they still hit the road and going. Why can me as a youth, just a strength person, cannot do it? Then I say I should do it. Then in the morning when I wake up, I just reflect my mind onto those people, and it was so great. The first step was hard, but at some point life itself will adjust, and I get used to it gradually, and I really enjoy it, because when you ride a bicycle a whole day, you have a lot to do. You have to explore, you see places, right? Then you have to be careful on the road. There are cars, there are motorbikes, there are people.
Super dangerous in Africa.
Super
They're
dangerous.
not used to
There's no
bicycle
bike
drivers.
lane, no bike lane. So you have to deal with all this. The moment you will be dealing with all this, all your stress are gone. So if you ride for an 8 hours, totally your mind is different. You are stress free. You are physically fit. You dehydrate a lot when it's hot. You drank a lot of water, which is a really huge blessing to have a lot of water during the day.
How do people react to you? I mean, as a black cyclist, you just said it. I mean, there aren't many around
it
here,
was
right?
beyond my imagination. I'll never believe as a black man in Africa, I will be referred to as a white man in Africa. Though a lot of people saw me along the road. A lot of people I can say, okay, this is a land behavior, right? I understand their perspective. Because for them they see a lot of travelers with a bicycle, and these people are Europeans. So once they saw them and they saw me along the way, they call me white man in their local language, for instance. The Mende, they call me Pumui, Pumui, Pumui. I was like, oh no, sometimes I would say, no, I'm not Pumui. I would say, I'm not a Pumui, me not like you. Sometimes when I stop, because I just don't believe in buying a lot of plastic sachets to drink, because I don't want to pollute the environment with plastic. So I try as best as possible to utilize one of the 3R for plastic solution. For plastic solution, I believe we have 3R. We have the reduce, reuse, recycle. So for me, I use the 2, reduce and reuse. And a lot of the time I don't buy this sachet. I met a lot of incredible and amazing humans. Some of them are even kids. They are so happy singing, chanting when they saw me passing. Pumui, Pumui, white man like this. When I stop, they will always wish to see me stop and have a handshake.
Yeah.
Some of these school children will always stop by to give a handshake. Sometimes I'm really bit tired, I can do it. But sometimes I can do it. Sometimes I can say hello. Sometimes I will share some sweet with them. They will be so happy. I will just go out and say, help me refill my water bottle. They will do it with pleasure. Even the old people, not only kids mistakenly calling me white people, even youths call me white people. And it was really amazing. It's like I never think I will be a black man in a black man country then call a white man. But that's it. And it's really so amazing. On the trip, I had an opportunity. I met a boy that is going to school with his bicycle. He had a flat tire. He already pushed the bike like 1 kilometers, and he need like 1 more kilometers to reach to the mechanic shop. Then I say, what happened? They say, my bike had a flat tire. I say, okay, we can fix it. I have my pump, I have this. So if it is just to do a pump, I can do it. And you can imagine what? this bike is shared by two people, the boy and his brother. So when I get down, just get my pump and start pumping the bike, I see the unique smile on their face with joy.
Grateful.
Then I was happy after the bike fixed. We all rode at some point. They are so happy, and I was so happy to do that little help and make sure they go to school on time.
Did you have prejudgmentals against Liberia? I heard that some you heard at least prejudgmental, like Liberians eat people and stuff. Do you had prejudgmentals?
Yes.
And did they go?
Well, I have a lot, because normally I like sharing my trip with people, regardless whether you are into travel or not. I just want the feedbacks, and for me, I accept any kind of feedback from people. Then I choose each one that I want to take and I want to follow. So before going, if I say I want to go to Liberia, or even with a bicycle, they will say they don't go to Liberia. It's human.
They eat humans. It's just next country.
Yes. I said they eat humans. I say, okay, no problem. Sometimes I share, but I can tell you, one of the best feedbacks I get from people is from foreign people, Europeans. When I told them about this trip, they say, oh, you can do it. It's amazing. I hope it works well. And they always keep in touch to ask me, how about your plans? How about your plan? How about your
That's
plan? So they are pushing me.
To do
They are
it.
pushing me to do it, because I think I owe these people. And for a lot of black people, they just give a negative feedback. Don't go to Liberia, they eat human. I say, okay, if they eat humans, when they caught me, let them make sure they season me well so that they can enjoy the meat. I don't care.
But I think when you spoke to Europeans, you spoke to already travel experienced Europeans, because how you met them is by traveling, right?
Yes,
I think this is also
some from traveling, but
same for our
some
village.
not travelers.
Okay, because
Yes.
same for our village. I think the ones that are around you, they want you to be safe, and also they don't want to leave their comfort zone. That they like to stay with their prejudgmentals. So if I believe in Liberia they eat people, I don't have to go there, right?
No, I can. I
Sorry,
can.
but what did your mom say about your trip?
So unfortunately, I didn't tell my mom about this trip, because my mom is a pressure patient. She's been battling with high blood pressure for quite a long time, and my mom's always believe in having like these premeditated thoughts and prejudice and stereotype, just like others. And she will always say, "Don't do it." Then if I say I will do it, it's been like a challenge. So to save all those dramas, and to save her from any kind of attack from her pressure, so I decided to say, okay, let me just go. Once I made it to Monrovia, I will give them a call. So, and I made it to Liberia, I never give them a call. They only knew that I was in Liberia when I was like updating my post and my locations, and there was like the first phone call conversation. Oh, so you go to Liberia, you didn't tell me. Why? What happened? Say, oh, this was the reason, this was the reason. Oh, I'm sorry, this has always been me. Please, mom. And then we had to do it. Normally my ear grows so long and very fast, you know. I have a very fast growing ear. And she's really upset about me having a lot of hair. She don't like it. So, and I was with this here. So before coming back to Sierra Leone, when I want to do my first visit after the trip, I knew that I've hurt her, then I need to make her happy. She will not be in love with this long hair. She always like, cut your hair, you're not woman. Because for them, they only believe that it's just a gender thing. So, you know, human, don't keep your hair. So I say, okay, this trip, I know I've hurt you. So my gift for you is to make sure I get my hair down. And I got my hair down. When I saw her,
happy.
she was so happy, and the smile, I think the smile erased all to the other dramas.
She's
and I was
proud
happy.
of you also.
She will.
You went, but
She
you came
will.
back.
I went and came back, and I came back with some friends, fellow travelers. She kept some of their stuff because we had a breakdown with the Peugeot 504 at 91. So the surfers, they have a lot of stuff. They need to get the cars to the garage. So she makes sure she kept all my friend belongings, and they talk very good and positive things that makes us smile. Like, Mom, you have raised a very good guy. Your guy is so kind. He's so nice. These are the kind of people we want to see. And she was so happy that people that I've never met before, I never had anything arranged to let meet in Liberia, that we just met randomly. And they are so embracing and really so happy to meet with me. Within just 2 weeks, they have a positive feelings about me. I think every mom will be proud to have those things for
It's so funny because I think we have so much in common. Like you and Mohammed, you and me, like everyone who travels. It's like always the mom who's like worried is about the hair. But it's also like the moment you leave home, your horizon opens. I think you open many doors in your mind and spirit, and you will never close them again.
Yes, for sure.
Because you learn and you embrace the world, and people come into your life, and you bring them back to your mom,
yes,
right? So
amazing.
you open also for her like a door, even that she
Even
wasn't prepared for it, but she like slowly, you know.
Yes,
So the moment the kids go out, like we go out and travel, the whole family grows in their mind and in the spirit. I think.
Yes.
So now you have another goal. Like, what's your next goal? You have a big dream.
Yes, my big dreams now is like Liberia was an experimental trip to achieve a big dreams. So I want to see my challenges. I want to see my strength. So for short, I say, okay, let me use the closest side and go and see from experience. I've done a lot of research. I've met a lot of people who have traveling with bicycle, motorcycle, with different kind of crazy adventures.
Because you did couch surfing, right?
Yes.
You have invited a lot of people to your home.
I've helped people with some roof over their head with my little small space in my home, which is so amazing.
And now your goal is to go with your bicycle from Sierra Leone
Exactly.
until Spain, I guess.
My goal now is to hit a big challenge that can make me be the first Sierra Leonean to embark on this trip if I achieve this with a bicycle. And not only going forward with a bicycle, but to learn a lot from this trip, especially in the area of tourism, to some of the tourism countries that have done well in tourism, so that I can know our problems, what we need to do, what we need to fix, what we get wrong, what we should we get right, and also learn some other thing that I have interest in. Because once I finish school, my goal is not only to just seek for job. I think most people in Africa, our goal after graduation is to seek for job. And it should not always be there. We should be job creative. We should find, no matter how little it is, even if you can employ one person on this job, it's an impact that one person have a family. So I would love to explore another different kind of business ideas that I have, do practical first-hand experience. So it's not only just about traveling, seeing different places. And my other third goal is to raise fund for the chimpanzee sanctuary, help them doing their work, so that because they are not only taking care of chimps, they are taking care of our environment, because they have a lot of conservation work they are doing in Freetown and some other places around Sierra Leone. So I would love to contribute with just pedaling and seeing how best my GoFundMe can do. And I have some other thing that I'm doing in Brure to help the youth group, to support them with some tools and other things that I want to see it sustainable, so that we can have a very good beach. The last time we did our cleanup, when we did our beach cleanup, we had some overland travelers. They came. Once they came, they put their phone camera, and the beach was so clean and it was so amazing. They were so impressed. And for one of the travelers, some other traveler have told, don't go to Brure, Brure is already gone because the sand mining has destroyed the entire place. And when she came, it was totally different. He said, but Brure is more than the way I left it, like 6 years when I left Brure. So you see, so I will be raising funds to make sure the beach cleanup sustainable, and launch a bike sharing for the school going children once I came back, because some of the children go all the way to Tombo. That can be something like 11 or 12 kilometers to go to school.
So it would be cool to have bicycle.
If they have bicycle, they will save the cost for their parent. So it will be like a bike sharing. So once you go in the morning, if the other one is going in the afternoon till the evening, so you come and give the bike back. And make sure we find a way how we can maintain those bicycles.
Man, you have big dreams, huh? So you hit the road for your own growth, for learning about tourism, to see your own, to come back to your country and bring your knowledge back. Fundraise for the chimpanzee
sanctuary and for community development work in Brure.
Cleaning the beach, finding a way to bring bicycles
bike
for the
sharing,
kids. Bike sharing, it's so cool. And how much time are you planning to be on the road?
Well, for this trip, I don't know. You can plan, but sometimes plans changes. This is always the life of a traveler. The unique spirit we have as a traveler, we always accept the changes, no matter whether they are good or bad. So my plans right now is to make sure I do a 4 month, because I would like to volunteer and work away as well. to help some other startup in Africa. So for any country I go, I make sure I do some little help that can bring some positive social change. I have in mind to like volunteer for Workaway NGO in Guinea-Bissau, that they are doing well in making sure the locals use the local material available to make something interesting and more unique for themselves. And some other places like beekeeping in Gambia, I found one and I would love to do it. So it will be different kind of things depending on the time and the visa time frame. If I have a lot of time, I saw something interesting, and I also want to improve because I started recently my surfing dream. Is a new one added to the sporting portfolio. So I want to make sure I keep that dream alive, because I promised the guys in Liberia, once we started here, I will keep this dream alive. When I went to Liberia, where are you from? I'm from Burundi. Are you a surfer? I don't have answers to this question.
No, yeah.
Because they thought I'm from a surfing community, so they
you should
expected
surf.
me to surf. And I said, okay, I'm a couch surfer, funnily. Yeah, like big love. And the guys are so happy. I said, well, before I go, Liberia will be the first place I will start this dream. And I did it, and I want to keep this dream alive.
So, what is the challenge now to make this dream come true? What is the challenge, and how could people support you by making this dream come true?
Well, now currently the biggest challenge is to secure the visa for some of this country. On this trip, I only need 3 visas for different countries in mind. I need a visa for Mauritania, but it's quite easy. You can get it on arrival with no hassle. But for Morocco, it's complicated. And for Europe, I can understand because of the situation of illegal migrations and some other influx of migrants that is hard to deal with during this time. So as a youth, it's really hard to get a successful application when you're applying for Schengen visa, because they have the premeditated thought that most youth will just use it as an opportunity. Once they get back to Europe, they will never come back, maybe seek asylum or do some other thing. But to be sincere with you, that's not my goal, because I already have dreams that I want to achieve here. And some of these dreams, I've shared them with you. I've shared them with others. Letting those dreams go away will be a big failure to me, that I already disappointed a lot of people who always are looking forward to this dream.
Hey, and we need people like you that dream big, right?
Yes.
Things can change, and also others will watch you and see what is possible, right?
Yes.
So you become also a role model for others, and
Exactly.
I mean, but how could people now support you? I mean, it's not just the visa.
It's not just the visa.
You need
I need something for electricity, which will be a solar device that is really portable. It's easy to carry, to keep my phone charging. Because this trip, I really want to share my experience with a lot of Sierra Leonean home and abroad, and a lot of other people around the world. Because we have been all this while allowing other people to tell our stories. European telling our stories, European telling us about the beautiful things we have in Africa. So why can't an African have a first-hand experience and share it with fellow Africans?
You can, but you
Why?
need support to
So
get
I need
solar.
support to get a solar. I needed support to maybe for food and what have you. But some of these things I believe I can handle some, but some I can handle them at this time. So the solar will be one, and I don't have a correct pannier to do a proper bike touring. But this one I can do YouTube and do it on my own DYT. I can create them with my own, so it's not really hard to do it. But I need a solar. I need a camping stove. My tent is not really good again. I need, if possible, I need another tent. If it's not possible, I can fix the old one I have to make it work more for me. Then I need one other thing again. Maybe possible contacts for me to have some big media audience along the way for this trip, so that my fundraising will get a wider audience,
yeah.
and awareness rising about this trip. So having a contact for any big media institution for something like this, that will make me the first Sierra Leonean to do this trip, and second West African to embark on this trip, will be a huge impact. And for anyone who wish or want to support me, you are not supporting only a ride, you are supporting multiple things. You are helping me grow, you are helping me creating awareness, you are helping me creating an impact. So which is so unique, and I will be happy to give update to anyone who wants to sponsor, to give you direct updates about how the trip is going. I will be happy to do it with pleasure.
Okay, so how can people contact you?
So if you want to contact me, I have a Facebook page called Travel with Amadou.
I'm gonna link that also.
And then I have my own Facebook account called Amadou Leko Soronjalo. I'm on Instagram on the two wheel, so I will be happy to share with you those contacts. So anyone who wants to reach me directly, it's no problem. Then anyone who wants to reach you for anything, I will be happy for them to contact you as well.
And I'm very, very grateful. I could talk to you forever and ever because I think you're a very interesting person, and I really wish that people come and get in touch with you, because for me, you travel for many things, you know.
Yes, yes.
You will be a role model for sustainable travel. You are already creating awareness for taking care of the environment. Your 3 R's, what is it? Reuse, recycle,
and reduce, recycle, and reuse.
You're going for big goals. You want to support your own country. You're going to come back more wise.
And support some other countries as well.
Support other countries coming into exchange. And also, like, it's so cool to see Salon Bobo Salon Bobo traveling going until Spain. That would be super cool. And I tell you, when you come passing by Morocco, you're super highly welcome to stay at our place. Thank you so much for this morning chat, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much, Lina, for loving Africa, and thank you, Mohammed, for being on the camera for a short time and making sure things work well. And it was a pleasure meeting new people, and I really admired and enjoyed your trip. I think I will not say just a pleasure. I'm so lucky, because when I share, people care. So it was only possible with a friend that I shared that makes this contact. Otherwise, I will never meet you. So I'm also grateful to Bello for this contact, and it's a pleasure to have you this morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you.